Coast to Coast AM and CBS Radio News. Chattanooga's news, talk, and sports leader.
News Talk 1240.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you.
Oh yeah, we're happy. What's up? This is Happy Hour. I'm your host, Russell. Today we're going to be looking at all the different cool stuff that we got on the website, which is actually a lot. Go to hotnewstalkradio.com and click on the half off link, and you can see all the stuff that we have. That's the half off link on hotnewstalkradio.com. Let's go to hotnewstalkradio.com, and there's a link right up there, actually about the middle of the screen once you first log in. It says half off right there. It's 1/2. I need to punch the guy who wrote that in. 1/2 for half. You know, that's the mathematical way to put it. Much more appealing if he wrote half, but he didn't. Half off on hotnewstalkradio.com, and you can see all the cool stuff that we got. One of the best things that we have so far on the site, definitely the most expensive thing that we have on the site so far, is a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Now, I'm not actually much of an SUV guy. That having been said, I actually kind of like this thing. You know, like I've lived with an SUV for a very long time, and I really didn't like it. But I actually did have the pleasure of riding in a Jeep Grand Cherokee one time, and it's the only SUV so far that I actually do like. It's really nice. It's really comfortable, and it's also kind of a smooth ride, even on the rough terrain that we were going on. We were camping at the time. So Jeep Grand Cherokee, and it's a mere $3,500 over on hotnewstalkradio.com. Click on the half off link, and you can check that out. Also, of course, if you put your information down at the bottom, we'll give you a call back as soon as we can. You just have to put the gotta get my tongue together, right? You just got to put in the product name, and then the description of it, which is optional, and the price of the item, and then your name, and then your contact number or your email, and then we'll get back to you as soon as we can. The reason for that is so it's more secure that way, so you don't have to put your your personal financial information out over the internet, because that's not very secure, not very safe. So we try to play it safe here at Hot News Talk Radio, because we actually know what's going on when it comes to identity theft, and we're not really big fans of having your identity stolen. You know, that's not really a thing that we usually go for. So there's a Jeep Grand Cherokee that's for sale. It's a 4-door SUV. It's red. It has a luggage rack up top. I think that's what they call it. Is it a luggage rack or a utility rack? I've heard both. It's got one of those rack things on the top that you can put luggage on, a canoe, a kayak. I was actually wanting to go kayaking yesterday. We were down by the Tennessee River. My friend and I were downtown at the Tennessee River, and I was actually thinking, I wish I had a kayak, and the only way we could transport that really would be with a vehicle such as this. So I might be snapping it up pretty soon. It's a 1999 Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's a red version. It has the 4-liter six-cylinder engine as well. It's an automatic 4-speed, and it's not diesel. In case anyone ever thought that there might actually be a diesel Jeep Grand Cherokee, there is not. It takes gasoline, and it's a 4-liter 6-cylinder engine, and they're wanting a mere a very, very low price of $3,500 for it, which is, of course, half off. It's not very often you get half off on a vehicle, right? Not very often at all. Also on the website, we have Jets Pizza gift certificates, $25 for $50 worth of certificates. So these are certificates which are, of course, redeemable for actual pizza. And Jets Pizza is really the best pizza you can get in town, short of your Italian mother making it for you in her brick oven. And that would be the only way. If you have an Italian mother who has a brick oven, and she's had this recipe passed down to her from many generations past, that's the only way you'll get pizza that's better than the pizza from Jets Pizza. And you spend $25 for $50 worth of certificates. So it's sort of like it is a gift certificate. And you can also order online with Jets Pizza as well, if you put in the number for the gift certificate that way. So it's a very, very convenient way to buy it, and they'll deliver straight to your door, and you can also pick it up over at Jets Pizza. Now, they're located downtown, not downtown, pardon me, but on Hickson Pike, just a ways down Hickson Pike towards North Shore, and there's a Jets Pizza right there. So if you're living in Hickson, then it's really not very far away at all for any of us in Hickson. We have offices in Hickson, and it's not very far at all. So I've gone there several times to get pizza. It's really, really good stuff. They don't skimp out either. They have deep dish stuff there that's just, you can't beat it, man. You just can't beat it. It's so good. Also, one of those little signs, the signs that they have like outside of bars and things? Well, we actually have one for sale. Sort of a novelty thing, really cool. I've actually always wanted one of these. Not quite this type, but I've always wanted a sign of some sort of illuminated sign, just because I feel like I'd be living in a John Hughes movie if I had one. This one's a Coors Light sign. It's going for $125, and it says official beer of NASCAR, world's most refreshing beer, which is their little slogan there. Coors Light, it's a sign for it. So if you're a big old fan of Coors Light and you want to show your support for Coors Light, then you can buy this sign and you can have it put up in your office, maybe to make your boss really mad. You can put it in your man cave. Lots of guys have those. Lots of guys have these man caves now. It's sort of a trendy new thing. By new, I mean it's about 10 years old. This trendy thing. So if you're really into Coors, you can sort of put this up over your mini fridge that's stuffed full of Coors, and you'll be really repping the Coors brand. So get the Coors Light sign for $125 on the website on hotnewstalkradio.com and click on the half off link. Now, here's something extremely useful that I'm seriously going to be using. It's a gift certificate to Cell Surgeon for cell phone repair. He does smartphones, and I think he does dumb phones as well. It's for repair services only, so keep that in mind. But I actually do have a problem with my cell phone where I can't get proper audio out of the 3.5 millimeter audio jack, which is just the headphone jack. I forget people aren't into the whole measurement thing. It's just a headphone jack on my cell phone, but it's not working right. It's only playing mono. It sounds really bad. It's really muffled, and when you first plug it in, there's sort of a tone, not a tone, but an oscillating pitch. It's sort of like a tapping sound. It sounds like a radio frequency being jammed, actually. It's really weird. So I plug my headphones on, and there's a sound for maybe 10, 20 seconds, and then it just cuts out, and it starts working somewhat normally, although you have to turn the volume all the way up. So I'm going to take my phone to Cell Surgeon, and hopefully the guys over there can get it fixed. So Cell Surgeon is in Northgate Mall. It's over there at Northgate Mall Drive, actually, in Chattanooga. It's 140 Northgate Mall Drive in Chattanooga, and you can go check them out to get your cell phone repaired. And for a mere $25, you can get $50 worth of repair. So you can buy that item, the gift card for Cell Surgeon, on hotnewstalkradio.com and search for, or rather click on the half off link, and you can see that gift certificate up on the website. You may be a man, and if you are, you have the problem which we all have. We go out and we do stuff, we hang out, we chill out, we walk around downtown like I did, and we come home and we smell terrible. Well, the solution to that would be this item, an 8-pack of 16 units of Febreze. So 8-pack of Febreze, which is actually 2 cents in one, cinnamon, sugar, and home. I don't know what home smells like. My home smells kind of actually like cinnamon sugar because there's scented candles everywhere. So maybe that's actually sort of a double thing. But it's dual scented oil, which you can get for Febreze, and it's a refill canister for one of the things that you plug into your wall outlet. Very useful. We actually have one at my house, and it's really useful. Also, a clean grill kit. It makes your gas grill self-cleaning, which is extremely useful because gas grills are such a pain to clean, man. We have one of those at my house, and the gas grill that we have gets just all messed up. It gets just all messed up. So the best way to fix that is without all this scrubbing and all the work, because I don't like working. I don't like physical labor. I'm fine with computer work and the work that I do around here, but when it comes to physical labor, I'm actually kind of a weakling, so I don't like to do that. So this clean grill stuff, that'll really fix you up. It makes your gas grill self-cleaning, and 2 units per pack. You can get them for $10, which is half off of their normal price from $20. This is kind of a cool little thing because I'm a big fan of coffee, and I haven't tried this yet, but I really, really want to. Coffee is one of the things that I'm kind of obsessed with, actually. Right in front of me, I have a can of coffee because I was in a bit of a rush today, so I grabbed a can of that energy drink coffee stuff, and it's not very good, actually, but it gets the job done. So as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to be brewing myself a nice big pot of freshly ground coffee because that's how I roll. Well, there's this thing here that we have for $5. Brew the perfect cup of coffee every time with this item. It's called Rombouts, I'm wanting to say. It's an original medium roast coffee. It's 10 single-serve brewing coffee filters. So you fit it over your coffee mug and you pour hot water over it, and boom, you have coffee. Really cool stuff. And it's one of those things that's really useful for if you're in a hurry like I am. So if I had one of these and I were in such a hurry, I would have just used one of these instead of buying a can, because that's much more expensive. Well, we're in the South, right? And here in the South, we tend to make a lot of tea. We're very much fans of tea here in the South. Well, we have a solution for that with tons and tons of tea. $24 can get you Lipton tea, a giant package of it. It's the nice Lipton green tea stuff, so it's actually healthy as well. So for $24, you can get a gigantic package of Lipton tea as well. If you're into golf clubs, we have a golf club set as well for $250. This gigantic set of golf clubs, which you can use to either bludgeon Vinny, who owes you money, or you can use it to actually play golf. I'm not sure which I would do. Some people do owe me money, so I might use these golf clubs to break their legs, but I might, go 4 on their kneecaps. But these golf clubs would also be good for actually playing the game of golf. And we have these golf clubs here on HotNewsTalkRadio.com. Go to half off on HotNewsTalkRadio.com. You can get these golf clubs for a mere $250. And I know golf clubs are usually really expensive. I'm shocked at how expensive golf clubs are a lot of the time. I used to be a little bit into it. I never actually played it, but my grandfather did. And so I was a little bit interested in it just because he played it. And I would look at prices of golf clubs and I'd just be astounded at how people pay thousands of dollars for, one golf club. People pay, $200 for just one golf club because it's got carbon fiber, aluminum alloy, special rubberized G6 grips and all these sorts of things. And it's like, man, it's just a golf club, right? Well, if you want to get a set of golf clubs, maybe to get you started in golfing, you can get them for $250 on the Hot News Talk Radio website. And if you're driving, I should let you know about the weather. It's actually a little bit rainy out there. It's very cloudy, and I saw some spots of rain when I was driving into the station today. So keep that in mind if you're driving out on the roads today. It's a quite rainy day today, and it's supposed to be clear tomorrow. If you're going to Lake Winnipesaukee tomorrow, good news. It's supposed to be very clear, and temperatures are going to be very pleasant as well. 78 degrees if you're going to Lake Winnie. 78 degrees for those of us who are going to be going. I'm actually not because I have work to do, but I know quite a few people who are. And 78 degrees is what the temperature is going to be over there at Lake Winnie. And there's not a very high chance of rain. There is a very, very small chance of rain, but it's going to be, if there is even rain, it's not going to be very much. So you don't have that to worry about when it comes to the rain that's going to, just ruin your time. We don't really have to worry about that. It'd just be a small smattering that might get some of the more annoying families to leave. So that would actually be a benefit to you. But today, partly cloudy, not a very high chance of rain. 72 degrees is the temperature right now. It's actually really pleasant out. It's good weather for going out and, say, go to Coolidge Park, hang out on North Shore, do what I did yesterday and go on the rocks on the shore of the Tennessee River. And my friend and I actually went draining. Draining is when you go in storm drains. And it sounds really boring, but it's actually not, because you can learn a lot about city infrastructure by doing that. And my friend and I had a lot of fun going draining. And it's sort of an offshoot of urban exploration, which is where you explore abandoned buildings. We may or may not have done that also, but draining is a really fun activity, although very dangerous. So you need to have some form of protection, wear a hard hat, and have a contact who knows where you're going to be, because it's actually very dangerous. Which is why it's sort of like urban caving, I guess you might call it. Well, for those of you who have problems with sewing, you're not very good at sewing by hand, we have a sewing machine. And it's actually a Singer quick fix sewing machine for $25 here on Hot News Talk Radio. And actually in the photo, you can see that the normal price is $50, but we have it for $25. So if you're sort of on the fence about getting a sewing machine, well, now's the chance, because for a mere $25, you can pick up a Singer sewing machine. It has a lot of easy settings on the side, easy push buttons, so that you can get the job done as quickly as possible. And it has a switch selection as well, so you can choose which one you're going to be doing. And you can change the foot, the level of the foot, and all that sort of thing. You can change how it hooks another thread. There's all sorts of neat little neat little functions that this sewing machine has. And it actually, I kind of wish I had one earlier because I ripped a shirt and I was really annoyed. So if I had this machine, I would definitely be using it to fix that. You know those little single-serve hot water dispenser things? Well, we actually have one of those on hotnewstalkradio.com for just $10. So this is great if you're going to make oatmeal, if you're going to make hot chocolate, instant coffee. Heaven help you. Come on, instant coffee, really? You're going to be that cheap? Well, you can, if you want to go that way, you can use this hot water dispenser, and it's only $10 on hotnewstalkradio.com, and it's a Sunbeam brand, major branded hot water dispenser. You can get it for just $10. It's good for travel if you need to make hot water. You need to boil water for your breakfast or whatever, and you're on the go. You can use it in a hotel. And I actually have a friend who has one of these, and he travels a lot, and he uses it in his hotel quite a lot. It's been very useful for him, and I've always sort of been jealous of it since. So I may be picking this up myself. So you better beat me at it, beat me to it. You can pick that up for $10 on hotnewstalkradio.com. It's a Hot Shot hot water dispenser from Sunbeam, and they claim that it's actually faster than a microwave, which is quite a revelation because I've been boiling water in a microwave for the last year or so, and I'm probably going to get cancer as a result. Well, a open program LED sign. So what it is it's one of those open signs for a business. And those are normally really expensive, especially the neon ones. I've seen those go for sale for $200, $300. Well, for $75, you can get an LED open sign. And the cool thing about LEDs is that they don't really go out very quickly at all. It takes a really long time for LEDs to go out. I've seen them last 20 years or more. I have LEDs on different devices I have that are 30 plus years old, and they still work just fine. And it doesn't consume nearly as much power as neon does. So it's a Mitaki Japan Open programmed LED sign. So it's got the open sign, and it's an LED, which is actually a little bit brighter than neon as well, shows up better. Normally it goes for $150, but we have managed to get it on hotnewstalkradio.com for just $75. If you want to add sort of a vintage look to maybe your apartment, your loft, your nice new house that you got that's sort of got that rustic look going on, you can get a grandfather clock for only $600, and it looks really, really neat. It's got this nice wood cabinet. It's got a really, really bright looking face on it. It's got sort of that old-timey metal hands that go around. If you read analog clocks, this will be very useful to you. Fun fact, I have a very hard time reading analog clocks because I'm a 21st century child. But but if you can read analog clocks, this will be very useful to you. And it looks really, really neat. Even if you can't read an analog clock, I would keep one anyway because it just looks so cool. And grandfather clocks are kind of hard to come by these days. And not a whole lot of people have them anymore. So if you want to be the guy who stands out, you get this beautiful grandfather clock for only $600 on hotnewstalkradio.com. Click on the half off link. And we've also got Chattanooga gift set cookbook with ladle and napkins for only $20. So if you want to give that to a friend of yours, maybe a birthday, or they've just had a kid, or they're just getting married, something like that, you can get one of these. It's actually, I think that would make a pretty good wedding gift because it has a cookbook in it and everything too, sort of get you on your feet. Now here's something you don't see very often. Unopened vintage sodas. This might seem like a kind of a fringe thing, but there actually is a pretty strong online community for unopened vintage sodas. It sounds strange, but it's true. Each one of these individually normally would sell for $7.95. Well, we have the whole pack of 6 for $24. So that's a really big savings on this vintage Pepsi that we have. And it's Pepsi Long Neck is the type. And they don't even make that anymore in the glass bottles. And it's also in the original cardboard packaging as well. So it's an original 6-pack of Pepsi. I would guess 80s or 90s, possibly even late 70s, going by the look of it. And they definitely don't make that anymore. They're sort of shying away from the glass bottle look these days. So it's only $24, and you could probably even resell that for a higher price than that. And you do pretty well as well doing that. And it would look good on your cabinet or something in a sort of a display case type deal as well. In a similar vein, we also have Coke. No, not that kind of Coke. Come on. We have Coca-Cola in its original 6-pack, and it's 100 years, celebrating 100 years, and it's in original glass bottles. They're all sealed. They're all good to go, and it's got the skyline of Chattanooga on it. It's Coca-Cola Classic celebrating 100 years, and we have that for $30 on hotnewstalkradio.com. Also, if you're into motorboats, we have the ultimate guide to motorboats, including fishing boats and personal craft, written by Barry Pickthall, and we have that for $20 on hotnewstalkradio.com. It's a very nice, large book that tells you everything you could ever possibly want to know about motorboats, including fishing boats and personal craft, for $20 on hotnewstalkradio.com. And this is Hot News Talk Radio AM 1240. We're everywhere. Listen live to Hot News Talk Radio at hotnewstalkradio.com. Download the TuneIn Radio app and search for Hot News Talk Radio. Hot News Talk Radio is on Twitter, where you report the world decides. It's AM 1240. Hot News Talk Radio, and you can save half off now. Go to hotnewstalkradio.com, click on the half off link for great deals. That's what we're talking about now. Hot News Talk Radio saves you money. That's AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio. And when I came in, the microphone was way too low, and I realized why that was, because Cowboy Up with Tex is on every weekday here on Hot News Talk Radio from 5 to 6, or 6 to 7, pardon me, right here on Hot News Talk Radio AM 1240 and hotnewstalkradio.com, and on the TuneIn app on Hot News Talk Radio.
Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Don't worry, just relax. You need a car. Come to Autolux.
My wife and I keep the cost down. We sell a quality vehicle at a great price. Our overhead is low. I have no employees, so I can keep my costs down. In turn, the consumer gets a better price. Everything that I sell is emission ready. We really try to go the extra mile for our customer. I don't have to pay an employee commission. I don't have to pay somebody to come out here and wash my cars. You know, I do it all from buying to selling, from A to Z. I don't have the overhead where I have to raise the price on my vehicle to cover costs. Here at Automax, you're going to guarantee that you get credit. As long as you're making those payments, you're going to build on your credit. Unlike the buy here, pay here's where they don't report to credit bureaus, we report to all 3 credit bureaus. The subprime lenders that we deal with, you don't have to have any credit, or you can have bad credit. You can even have a bankruptcy, a repossession.
Don't worry, just relax. You need a car. Come to Autolux.
Do you feel better outside your home or business than in? Indoor air quality is important. Mildew, mold, smoke, water, and rodent damage are prime causes of poor indoor air quality. Ducts, Indoor Air Professionals, better known as Duct Busters, cleans HVAC systems using 127 definable Duct Busters steps. Let Mark Thompson address the indoor air quality at your business to help reduce employee illnesses. Prevent fires by cleaning your dryer vents. Mark and his parents, Dick and Joan Thompson, have been building our local economy and helping local people with HVAC systems 16 years. Ducts, Indoor Air Professionals. Call 876-9907. 876-9907. Ducts. Call now.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
You love your hometown. Are you interested in free markets, in local economy? Do you hope that Chattanooga can survive the next meltdown, the next chain of disasters in the national economy? What's the best way to live out the ideals of self-government and self-determination? Join me, David Toulis, weekdays 1 to 3.
Hot News Talk 1240.
Love your neighbor, buy local.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Hot News Talk 1240.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
All right, this is Happy Hour. I'm your host, Russell. We're talking about all the different cool stuff we have on hotnewstalkradio.com. Definitely check that out on hotnewstalkradio.com. Click on the half-off link. You can see all the different items that we have and what we're talking about on Hot News Talk Radio. All you got to do is put some of your personal information at the bottom of the screen. The very bottom, if you just scroll all the way down, it'll ask you to put in your name and the product name, the description of the product, which is optional, the price of the product, and your name, of course, and your contact number or an email, and then just click on the submit button, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And we are American English-speaking people, so that we speak to you in English, and we're native English speakers, and you won't be talking to somebody who's been outsourced. We're all here, and we're waiting for your calls on Hot News Talk Radio, and we'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can. So just leave that information. The reason that we don't ask for your credit card information right on the website is because it's so easy to steal personal info over the internet. It's just ridiculously easy. So we don't want to have to bother with that. So you can pay very easily after you've called the number. It's really easy to do. So that's what we're all about here on Hot News Talk Radio, is keeping you safe, keeping you informed, and making sure that you have a good time as well. And that's what we're doing here at Happy Hour, talking about all the different items that we have on hotnewstalkradio.com. Now, one of these things that I'm looking at here is very useful if you're into the whole prepping thing. And I know a lot of people are, especially these days where things aren't looking so good overall. People are kind of worried about the economic situations and the possible, WROL situation, which would be without rule of law situations. People are really into training for that and being prepared for that. They're called preppers. And I think that's a really cool movement. I'm actually kind of digging that. I'm into that. Well, we have this unit here that's a very important unit. It would be great for people who are into that. It's a unique battery backup unit from the military. It can output up to 120 volts, wall voltage, and it's only $999, whereas the regular retail value is $3,000. You can pick that up on hotnewstalkradio.com. Click on the half off link. That's hotnewstalkradio.com, and then click on the half off link. And you can see all the different cool stuff that we have on the website. We have a lot of stuff on hotnewstalkradio.com. And some of it is just, we have so much stuff. It's crazy. I can't even keep track of it. I check every day, and there's more stuff on there. It's crazy. Well, this unit actually is really good for a battery backup, so you can keep your stuff powered. You need to charge your cell phone. You need to charge a portable radio. You can use this to do that. And it's looking like it actually might be water resistant, because it has a rubber gasket going around the edge of it. So if it's not waterproof, it's at least water resistant. And it has all the original cables in it. It's all ready to set up, and it just needs to receive a charge, and you'll be ready to go. You'll be good to go. So it's a battery backup unit that the U.S. military has used. It looks, because it's OD green, I'm going to guess that it's either Desert Storm or pre-Desert Storm era, since they're not really using OD green that much anymore. But I might be incorrect on that, so don't fact check me when it comes to that. But it's a unique battery backup unit that's built by the U.S. military, or built for the U.S. military, and it can output up to 120 volts, which is the same as the output of your regular wall socket. Really, really cool unit, and it's really interesting. That'd be good to keep in your basement, even just in case of a power outage. If you want homemade jewelry, maybe for a gift for a loved one, or even for yourself, you want to gift yourself, get yourself something for sort of a self present. It's actually kind of important to once in a while splurge and buy something for yourself, because it's a tough world out there. We got to keep ourselves happy. Well, one of the ways to do that would be to buy a handmade necklace from Chrissy's Treasures. We can get for only $30 on hotnewstalkradio.com. Very beautiful necklace. It's purple. It's got some gems on it, some beads on it. It's got one of those simple clasps on it, which are actually, I like those a lot better than the other ones that are like hook and loop, and they're really weird and they're obnoxious to put on. I don't like that. Not that I've worn them, obviously, but I've put them on for other people, put it that way. And this one doesn't have that. A very nice system. It just clips right in. And it's $30 for this handmade necklace from Chrissy's Treasures. And we actually have another one, which is a bracelet for $30, also by Chrissy's Treasures. And it's sort of a pink thing. And it has beads on it that have a floral pattern. And there are ones that are sort of a silver color, metallic, and ones that are clear. And it's sort of a snap-on bracelet in that it sort of expands and then snaps onto the wrist. Very, very convenient. There's also $15 earrings here, also handmade from Chrissy's Treasures, which we have as well, and a watch, which is a really nice-looking watch. It's got sort of a purple-pink color style going on, color pattern, I guess. What's the word for it? A color scheme. There we go. It's got that color scheme going on. Really fancy-looking. You can get that for $60 on hotnewstalkradio.com. There's also a $20 gift set that we have, which has Edible Brooklyn. It's a cookbook all the different things you can make, sort of Brooklyn style, yo. Hey, Brooklyn style. I don't know how they talk in Brooklyn, but I imagine it's kind of like that. I was there for like 3 seconds when I was in New York City. Not very fun. I don't want to go back. But there's also a genuine tea blend that comes with it. Really cool stuff. You can get the gift set, and it also has what looks like a book as well, and a sort of a pillow-looking thing as well. $20 gift set on Hot News Talk Radio. There's also a sword here for $50, which you can get. It actually sort of something that's notable about the sword is it looks like a cross between the Chinese sai, the sai weapon that one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles used. My dad's actually trained to use one of those. And those things will mess you up because they break swords. That's actually what they're designed to do. And this sort of looks like a cross between that and a traditional sort of a short sword / dagger thing. Really cool looking. It's got sort of a gemmed look to it. It would be really neat to hang on a wall or something. Again, that'd be a cool thing for a man cave. Oh, this would be really useful too for working with electronics. It's a glue gun. Now, I've always wanted a glue gun. That sounds like a really silly thing to always want, but it's true because there's a lot of electronic projects that I work on just in my spare time, and I'm always wishing I had this glue gun to secure things because glue guns will sort of insulate. The glue will act as an insulator, the hot glue will, and so it's good for insulation for electronics. So if you have bare wiring, you can use this for sort of a permanent hold so things don't fall apart. It's really good for mini piezo mics if you make those. But anyway, it's really good. A glue gun is something that probably everybody should have, and it's only $4 on Hot News Talk Radio if you click on the half off link. Looking at the weather now, 72 degrees in the Chattanooga area, only 72 degrees, which is a lot cooler than it has been because we were seeing temperatures up in the 90s just recently, just the last 2 weeks or so. Now it's down to 72. Tomorrow on Friday, if you're going to be going to Lake Winnepesaukah, it's going to be nice weather for you. 78 degrees, which is nice, and sort of warm, sort of not hot. Really nice temperature range to be in where it's not blisteringly hot where you're wanting to die and you feel like you're losing all your liquids, but it's 78 degrees and going to be 78 degrees tomorrow, I should say, and sunny as well with no chance of rain. So definitely a great day to be going out and doing things for your weekend. Saturday, there's a 10% chance of precipitation, so keep that in mind. Humidity is going to be at 44%. So that's not fun, but it's only a 10% chance of rain, which usually means it's going to be really light rain. Usually when there's only like a percentage of rain that's only under 30, that usually just means it's going to be sort of a smattering. You're not going to see a whole lot of it. And that's what we're seeing for Saturday. Going into next week, it's going to be rainy, unfortunately. Monday, 10% chance of rain. Sunday, 0% chance of rain on Monday. But or Sunday. I'm getting all mixed up now. I need more coffee. Monday, 10% chance of rain, and Tuesday, 30% chance, and Wednesday, 60% chance, and Thursday, 60% chance. So all throughout next week, it looks like it's going to be pretty rainy, but this week is looking pretty nice and clear. But throughout next week is going to be pretty dang rainy. So keep that in mind. Also, I should mention on Hot News Talk Radio for a very, very small price comparatively, we have a Jeep Grand Cherokee for only $3,500 right on hotnewstalkradio.com. So $3,500 for a not quite brand new. It's a late 90s model, 1999 Jeep Grand Cherokee. But these things, I mean, come on, it's a Jeep, right? These things are rock solid. They're not going to fly apart on you like a lot of other vehicles will. It's a Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's a 1999 model for only $3,500 right here on Hot News Talk Radio, and it's red, has a red exterior. It looks really snazzy. It sort of has that bright, colorful look to it. I really like that. It's the 4-liter 6-cylinder version as well, so you really kick some power out of that. Automatic 4-speed transmission, so you don't have to worry about shifting gears. Some people are into that. I kind of am, but if we're talking about off-roading, I don't think I'd be wanting to worry about shifting the gears or anything like that. It does have anti-lock brakes, 4-wheel drive, cassette player. Doesn't look like it actually has a CD player, but it's easy enough to switch those out anyway. It does have a cassette player and AM/FM radio. It's a 1999 model, and you can get that on hotnewstalkradio.com. It also has power windows, which is really nice, and power door locks and power steering, and even keyless entry, power brakes as well. You wouldn't expect that of a 1999 vehicle, but it actually does have all of that. Cloth upholstery, wheel diameter is 16 inches, nice and big, and it has alloy wheels as well, and a window defogger for the rear window. So really well outfitted vehicle. 1999 Jeep Grand Cherokee. So check that out if you can on hotnewstalkradio.com. It's a really well-built vehicle, definitely really cool. So be sure to check that out on hotnewstalkradio.com. We have a mini spotlight with 17 LEDs. Definitely going to get a lot of visibility out of that one. It even fits in a car glove compartment. It has an adjustable magnetic base that can mount on any metal surface, well, any ferrous metal surface, for interior or emergency lighting. A 12-volt cigarette lighter plug with 6-foot 9-inch long cord, making the light accessible in most areas of the car and even a little ways outside of the car as well. It's a mini spotlight with 17 LEDs. So you're really going to get a lot of visibility out of that one. Only $10. So if you're worried about visibility, you need to see when you're in your car, or maybe you're playing cops and robbers. You know how the police have those cool spotlights on those cars? Well, now you can have one too. Just go to Hot News Talk Radio and pick that up. We have for a mere $6 a Travel Sentry certified locking luggage strap. So if you're worried about the TSA rooting through your luggage, you can get this luggage strap that locks. And it has a 3-wheel combination lock, 9 digits per wheel. So 3 times 9 is how many codes you can get out of it. And it's certified by the TSA as well. So it's special with the TSA, right? It's sort of a TSA compliant type deal. But it'll keep unwanted hands out of your luggage, which is very important because I'm really starting to get sick of people rooting through my luggage, man. I'm getting tired of that. Also, for only $1, we have a blueprint tape measure on hotnewstalkradio.com for just $1. Blueprint tape measure, very useful for those of you who are architects or want to get into architecture. For $9, we have one of those Gojo hands-free adjustable headset things, which is actually kind of weird, kind of cool idea. It's what it does is, and it looks kind of silly, but it would be really useful for around the office. What it does is it sort of turns your cell phone into a headset. So like you put this thing on, and it clamps your phone to your head, and it makes it so that you can keep your phone clamped to your head without having to buy a headset. Kind of an odd idea, but it's actually kind of cool too. For $5, we have looks like what's the word for it? One of those RCA connectors. There we go. For $5, RCA connectors to connect to your TV for home theater component video connections. Not RCA, pardon me, component video. So it's component video cables, and it's got the really cool weave on it, so it's not easy to break. I had a pair of headphones that were like that, really, really nice. They stood up for a really long time. So if this is going to be running behind your TV, these things are probably going to last forever. It's got the RGB channels on it. It's for component video, and audio, of course, is separate. It's gold-plated RCA connections for component video. For $25, Samsonite luggage. Now, Samsonite luggage is actually sort of becoming sort of coming back, actually, because a lot of the kids are getting into that vintage look. So for $25, you can get Samsonite luggage that has a kind of a cool, kind of interesting looking pattern on it. It's sort of like I can't explain what the pattern looks like. It sort of has like a love seat pattern, if that makes any sense at all. It looks like something you'd see on a love seat. It's kind of a cool looking pattern. And it's really neat, sort of a floral looking 1960s, 1970s look to it. $25 for the Samsonite luggage. It has a front zipper pouch as well. Only $25 on hotnewstalkradio.com. Normally it's $50 for the suitcase, but now you can get it for $25. If you're wanting a clock, an analog clock to sort of class up your office or something, you can get it for $3. It's a Mainstays decorative wall clock for $3 on hotnewstalkradio.com. Now, these are really cool. I actually have a pair of these, except not these exact ones, but I do have a pair of these. $20 for a brand new work boots, which are actually Desert Storm style military boots. And these, I can't guarantee if these were ever issued, but they are similar style to those that were issued during Desert Storm and the early days of the Afghanistan operations. It's a new work boots, and they go from size 7.5 to size 9.5. Funny story, that wouldn't actually work for me because I wear 13 and 14. I have gigantic feet, but $20 for a pair of work boots, you really can't go wrong. So if you have hats, if you have feet, you have feet that are in between 7.5 to 9.5 in size, you can get a pair of these boots, and they'll definitely serve you well. Here's a kind of funny thing that we have, a hat that says CIA on it. So if you want to rep the CIA, you can buy this hat that has the CIA logo on it for $5. There's also a hat that has Orange County Choppers on it for, I think that's a motorcycle club, which you can get on hotnewstalkradio.com for $5. If you're into latex examination gloves, we have you covered. For $8, you get Ambitex latex examination gloves. They're America's leading brand in hand protection. Latex powdered examination gloves. Now, something to keep in mind is you need to be sure if you're allergic to latex, because actually some people are. So if you are allergic to latex, please don't buy these, because then you would break out into hives and you'd be very upset at us. So don't buy these if you're allergic to latex. But we have these latex gloves here on hotnewstalkradio.com, and they click on the half off link for $8. You can get these latex gloves. A Jordache, I think is how you say, carry-on bag is what we have for $20. Really cool looking bag. You can fit a lot of stuff into this. It has probably 4 pockets. I can see 2, but it probably has 2 on the other side as well. Front pockets and a main pocket as well. Really nice and sizable. You could probably fit 2 pairs of shoes in there, slippers, sandals, whatever, and some clothes into this Jordache carry-on bag. Really neat stuff. A water filter, if you want to filter out some of the weird contaminants that might be in your water, you can get this Culligan water filter for $7. It's a pitcher water filter combination. It has 98% lead removal, 90% mercury removal, 99% copper and zinc removal, 96% chlorine removal, 94% particulate and sediment removal, and it reduces bad taste and odor. This might be useful if you have a well, if you get water from a well, and that might be pretty useful to you. It's a 2-quart oval pitcher, and it fits in most refrigerator doors, and the filter will last for 40 gallons as well before you need to buy a replacement. But the replacements aren't very expensive anyway. You can get that for $7 on hotnewstalkradio.com. If you have one of those places that doesn't really fit with a regular mailbox, you can get one of these. It's a Gibraltar Industries Townhouse locking steel mailbox. It's sort of the type that you used to see in the movies, where it's got a slot and they fit the mail through there. It's this heavy-duty steel locking wall mount mailbox for townhouses and such, and really interesting, really useful as well. They have 2 styles, one that has the type that lifts up, and they have one that has a slot, and they both lock. You can get those on hotnewstalkradio.com for $10 each. And if you're into sort of a China pottery type deal, you can get $15 for an entire set of 10 of these teapot looking things. I think they actually are teapots. And they have sort of an old European house looking thing going on. Really, really neat. Check those out on hotnewstalkradio.com as well. Now, I actually have one of these. I own one of these Lionel collectible train watches. You can pick one up on hotnewstalkradio.com. It makes sounds. The train moves around inside the watch, and it's a Lionel collectible train watch. And if you press the button, the train makes this little whistling sound and goes around the track. And it's really, really neat. I really, really like that thing. I have it locked away in my closet now for safekeeping, but it's $19 for this collectible train watch. Really, really neat. $19 for it on hotnewstalkradio.com. There's also a digital watch that's waterproof up to 30 meters on hotnewstalkradio.com that we have for sale for $10 as well. And we have a lot of neat stuff on Hot News Talk Radio. And this is AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. We're everywhere. Listen live to Hot News Talk Radio at hotnewstalkradio.com. Search for Hot News Talk Radio on the TuneIn app, and you can listen to us on your smartphone. Hot News Talk Radio is on Twitter, where you report the world decides. AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. You can save half off now. Go to hotnewstalkradio.com. Click on the half off link for great deals. Hot News Talk Radio saves you money. AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. And that's what we're talking about here on Hot News Talk Radio and the website, hotnewstalkradio.com. We have a lot of great programming here on Hot News Talk Radio as well. We have Don Imus in the morning. We have Laura Ingram. From 11 to noon on Tuesdays, we have Real Estate University, where Eric and John talk about real estate and the local real estate investment market. My show is Digital Drive, where we're talking about technology and quite a bit more as well. We're going to be talking about Texas and Tesla, and how Texas has made a very stupid decision regarding Tesla. And it seems like they're trying to really hinder free market sales of automobiles because they want you to sell through a dealership instead of direct sales. And it's really hampering business. And we're going to be talking about that on Hot News Talk Radio and Digital Drive, which is my show from 12 to 1 right here on Hot News Talk Radio. Nuganomics.com with David Toulis is also on Hot News Talk Radio. He talks about local economy and free markets. He's very Nuga-centric. He has a very Nuga-centric view of things, and he does probably the most show prep out of anybody. He's always doing show prep. Anytime I see him, he's writing stuff down in his notepads. He's always looking at articles. He's always doing show prep, and it really shows when he does his, shows, because when you listen, you can tell he's very well prepared. That's Nuganomics.com from 1 to 3 right here on Hot News Talk Radio, where David Toulis talks about local economy and free markets. We also have Sean Hannity, where he's been interviewing a lot of presidential candidates, and very interesting all the different views that they have, because some of them, even in the same party, have drastically different views. It's really interesting. Sean Hannity's on from 3 to 5 right here on Hot News Talk Radio. From 5 to 6, we bring you the weather, we bring you the traffic, and we bring you all the local and national news on Hot News Now. From 5 to 6 every weekday here on Hot News Talk Radio. And then immediately after that, from 6 to 7, we have Cowboy Up with Tex, where Tex comes in with his boots and his spurs and his cowboy hat, and he demands that politicians cowboy up, which is to say that he wants them to do what's right and actually take responsibility for their actions. He talks about that right here on Hot News Talk Radio. That's AM 1240. So definitely check that out, Cowboy Up with Tex right here. And he's also sort of our part-time correspondent on the ground, because he's also been doing a lot when it comes to reporting on the ground. He called into Nuganomics.com to tell us about a shooting on West 38th Street, and he was covering that live on the scene, and he was there before anybody else was. They were still putting up the police tape when Tex was down there. So he's very, very dedicated to his job. As Cowboy with Tex, that's his show right here on Hot News Talk Radio. On the website on hotnewstalkradio.com, on the half-off section, for $10, we have an electric staple and nail gun, which really takes the work out of nailing and stapling. It includes 400 staples, which are 10 millimeters in size, and 400 nails, which are 15 millimeters in size, and it's a KingCraft electric staple gun. Very useful. Also, for $8 is one of those electric digital calipers, electronic digital calipers. It gives you a very precise reading in inches or millimeters. It's battery powered, and we have that for $8 on Hot News Talk Radio. So if you want to make very accurate measurements of things, you can do that with this digital caliper for $8. We also have an 18-inch toolbox with tray for $12 on hotnewstalkradio.com. It has a lot of little compartments and things to keep your tools, your screws, your nuts, your bolts, all that cool stuff. You get that for $12 on Hot News Talk Radio. For $10, medium to extra large camo pants, which look like actually BDU pants. They don't look like they're regulation BDU pants, but they do have the woodland camo pattern on them. So they look kind of similar to BDU pants that I was given when I was in Civil Air Patrol years and years ago. And you can get that for $10, medium to extra large camo pants here on Hot News Talk Radio. If you do road work, maybe you do work with felling trees and that sort of thing, $10 will get you a reflective vest right here on hotnewstalkradio.com. It's the type that construction crews use. It actually looks to be a little bit more heavy duty, a little bit higher quality than those. You can get that for $10 on hotnewstalkradio.com. My show's Digital Driving is coming up in just a few seconds right here on Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240 and hotnewstalkradio.com.
Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Surgery does not have to be financially painful. Hi, I'm Surgical Dr. David Red, and I'd like to invite you to my walk-in surgery clinic in North Shore. Quick Surge brings you immediate relief from moles, skin tags, maybe a laceration. Quick Surge. You walk in, fill out a mini form, I numb the area I'll treat, and before you know it, you're on your way home. Do I take insurance? No, because I take cash customers. I have super low and fixed prices, credit card, check, or cash. Uninsured, member of the working financially disadvantaged, choose Quick Surge. I publish prices online. No murk, just sunshine. Hassle-free, pain-free. Love the idea of a personal relationship with a doctor? Drop in with a nasty cut from work. Quick Surge, I'll take care of you. Quick Surge is a public center on the North Shore. No insurance hassles with Quick Surge. The national medical system is dysfunctional, overpriced, very alienating. I'm part of the solution, and so are you. Come on home. QuickSurge.com. QUIKSURG. Relief.
When my brother and I opened the first Jets Pizza, we believed if we made the best pizza, customers would find us. So we made fresh dough each day, used fresh toppings, and premium mozzarella cheese. 300 plus stores later, we still do.
Try Jet's famous 8-corner pizza with premium mozzarella cheese and one topping, now just $11.99 for a limited time only. Jet's Pizza, the best pizza in town. 3600 Hickson Pike.
Life is short. Eat better pizza.
Let's get Jets.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Right now, you can save half off at hotnewstalkradio.com. Go to hotnewstalkradio.com and click half off for exceptional deals on new and pre-owned unique quality items for Hamilton County residents only. Save half off at Jet's Pizza, golf clubs, coffee, tea, a real sword, jewelry, and much more. It's half off. Go to half off at hotnewstalkradio.com right now, then click on half off to save big. Be sure to join us live Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays at 11 a.m. as we bring you lots of fantastic deals right here, AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. HotNewsTalkRadio.com and half off. Surf our site and ride the wave of savings.
Surgery does not have to be financially painful. Hi, I'm Surgical Dr. David Red, and I'd like to invite you to my walk-in surgery clinic in North Shore. Quick Surge brings you immediate relief from moles, skin tags, maybe a laceration. Quick Surge. You walk in, fill out a mini form, I numb the area I'll treat, and before you know it, you're on your way home. Do I take insurance? No, because I take cash customers. I have super low and fixed prices, credit card, check, or cash. Uninsured? Member of the working financially disadvantaged? Choose Quick Surge. I publish prices online. No murk, just sunshine. Hassle-free, pain-free. Love the idea of a personal relationship with a doctor? Drop in with a nasty cut from work. Quick Surge. I'll take care of you. Quick Surge in the Public Center on the North Shore. No insurance hassles with Quick Surge. The national medical system is dysfunctional, overpriced, very alienating. I'm part of the solution, and so are you. Come on home. QuickSurge.com. QUIKSURG. Relief.
Here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's got third. He's going for second. Earnhardt going for the lead.
The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series is on the Motor Racing Network. Coverage continues Sunday here at Live on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Check it out this Sunday live on Chattanooga's official NASCAR radio station.
Hot News Talk 1240.
Every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on Hot News Talk Radio, join Real Estate U for an hour of information, guests, and new ideas about the dynamic Chattanooga real estate investment market. Real Estate U every Tuesday at 11 a.m. here on Hot News Talk Radio.
If the